Okay, so my name is Alvaro. I'm one of the co-founders at Clevergy. Any here in the audience works for a utility, energy retailer? No? Oh, hope you like this. For the rest, I'm so sorry. So, although it might not look like, I'm quite passionate about the digitalization that is going through the energy sector. Okay, I think it's not a surprise to anyone that all major utilities have reshaped themselves over the past decade. So banks started early, and now when I think about Revolut, I fucking love the app. Like it's really useful. They've made banking cool, right? If I think about telco, I don't remember who my provider is, which is also good. Like I know I pay the bills, I get optic fiber, and it's all good. They have managed to simplify the relationship up to a point where it doesn't bug me. And in insurance, they have managed also to do some stuff, right? They have now cool sinister uploads, and like, you can do some stuff over the phone. But when it comes to energy, we're still a bit stuck here, right? They've managed to digitize the invoice. Anyone here checks monthly the invoice? No? Yes? Maybe? Why not? It's cool. You can see CO2 footprint and things like that. No? Yeah. So the biggest problem here is that we've transformed the way we interact with users, but in reality, the behavior is the same, right? We have a touch point, a monthly touch point with our users, which is ugly, monotonous, and sometimes cumbersome, right? I do understand the bill, but I think that you shouldn't be an engineer and spend a couple of weeks to really understand what's behind it, right? It should be transparent. And the biggest thing is digital doesn't mean transformative, right? You can make a process digital, but it can still be the same shitty process. What can we do about this? What can we avoid doing to this, okay? If you take this bill, and most of you either don't care or don't understand it, as a PM, you are going to try to find these problems and punch over there some solutions, right? I can make it pretty. I can add some graph over it so that you can view better your consumption. I can add even cool features to recommend you stuff, and I can start to add more and more and more and more until we completely miss the user, right? We have the need to push features towards our engineering team, and we find valid problems. All these functions, they have a purpose, but when you try to put all of them in the front of every user, you completely lose them, okay? And this is an actual problem because I work at a startup that we sell B2B software to energy retailers, and I need to build more value so that they buy us, right? But sometimes building more is not the solution, okay? And here is where zero-touch engagement comes into place, okay? Maybe the best thing that we can do for those energy users is not do anything at all, okay? Zero-touch engagement is a product strategy that focuses on giving minimal user interaction and tries to resolve problems proactively and silently, okay? Basically, if the app could be a notification that says, "Hey, everything's fine," that's it. Don't check anything. Swipe out, and we're all good. That would be the end paradise for me, and of course for my users. Okay, because sometimes just the best UX is just not UX at all. Okay. Now, if again I'm in the mindset of an energy retailer, they want to transform the way their business is. When they do interviews, all of them, what they crave is a better app that better suits their needs. So they're hearing this from the market, okay? And they hire a team, they start to build a solution, and what's the first question? Are users using it, right? Okay, you build an app, you spend $1.5 million, so where's my money, right? Who is using it? And if you start to plot MAU, for example, it's something that we've done. You also need to check these things, right? But if you do this, you will start to find more problems, okay? More problems on why users aren't coming back to the application, okay? And what will you do? You will add more features so that users come to the application. So you will you will see an upward trend, and you will be happy, right? Okay, I'm helping my users. In reality, if you check, for example, ticket evolution, support ticket evolution over time, your tickets will grow as well. More users, more engaged, will bring more tickets that will raise your costs. So you will not have only spent 1.5 million building the app, but you're also spending more money on support tickets now. Okay, so total disaster. And the thing here is that you need to start to look at metrics that are a bit more complex to digest. Okay, if we were to analyze this in a proper way, this is a bit too small, but you would want to understand how the ratio of average tickets over time, per user per time, decreases as you launch more features. Okay, this is quite easy to understand or quite easy to check, because you can see, you can plot. I had a weirder graph of MAU over tickets, and you can see the trends, and you can see when you improve, right? But for example, if I'm trying to measure for something that we believe it's far more interesting, such as retention, okay, is my app helping my users stay longer with ourselves, or are they jumping outside to competitors? And this is something that is on the daily focus of our customers. Okay, how are we retaining customers? And when you start, side quote, when you start to check this data, it's not an easy graph that you can say, oh, I'm doing well. You suddenly plot it, and you get this craziness. Okay. We're not crazy. Like this is actually the work that you need to do. Okay, you start to correlate cohorts of new users, the ones that got exposed to the app, the ones that didn't got exposed to the app, and you need to understand if there's an actual difference, if the application, which is the variable that you're measuring against, if it's actually providing value or not. Okay, this is a like an oversimplified summary of what we do. If you summarize it as with app, without app, you can see that on some cohorts, you get up to 25 percentage points of better retention. Okay, this translates to less new customers that need to be acquired, so reduce CAC. This basically generates revenue. Okay, what's the problem? I already launched the app. Okay, this is what we do to validate with customers that the app is working. But what happens when I add a new feature? I need to track for every cohort and every different point in time that they're doing, and see and try to measure if they're doing better than against the baseline, right? What I'm trying to say here is doing product with metrics, it's cool, but it's also hard. That's why it's easy for us to say, well, let's check MAU. Everyone understands MAU. Everyone can communicate MAU. And the problem is that with that, you end up having unwanted side effects. Okay. So love that Alex did this introduction. Forget the feature. What's the job, right? What's the user actually trying to do? They don't want to open the app. No one wants to open the app, I think. I want to open the app because I'm a geek, and I want to understand what other competitors are doing, but no one wants to open the app. They want to know if they owe something, if there's a problem, and if they have a problem, they want to solve it. It's as easy as that, right? Some other reference as to the ones that Alex mentioned. One from Lenny, one from Joserra from Mercadona, who's also amazing. How is this actually implemented? Okay, we can all agree that the user wants to know when they're going to be charged, right? So a normal PM would say, okay, when I get the invoice, I can notify the user. That way they know that the invoice is available. They can go into the app, they can open the invoice, check the amount. Now, if they are checking if the invoice is high or not, they can go back, reopen the app, download the invoice from last time, and then they can do the comparison. I think you see a bit where I'm going, right? Or you can think about what the actual job to be done is, which is understanding that the bill is right, and that's it. Notify the customer. Hey, your last bill is this amount, and it's the same as last one, so don't bother checking. They can still check and open the app and do the fine-grain analysis if they want to. Like you also need to have that backend or that backside of the application, but trying to frame, and this is not going to generate any impact. I'm not even going to be able to measure it because the notification will be sent, it will be dismissed. So I don't have immediate feedback on what's going on. When I measure over the long term, that's when I can see the returns. Okay, and this brings me to my actual point, which is selling this internally. It's super hard because basically you're selling that everything's fine. We need to measure on the long term. I don't want to launch anything big because then I'm not adding value, but then where's the value, right? So selling this internally, it's super hard. The first one is, and this is because it wins quietly. Okay, so you need to internally prioritize good discovery work that also they pointed out, and very thorough analysis of what the actual root problem is, and then implement those minor tweaks. But in order to do that, there has to be a thorough research and communication around it so that the buying can be effective, okay? Otherwise, big projects, so the new integration, the new module, the new will always win. Why? Because you can put 8 people to it. At the end of the day, you have something to show up for, and that's it. And since the metrics analysis, it's hard, it will be very hard to prove wrong that building the feature is worse than not building it. I don't know if this makes sense, but it does. If it makes sense to you, but I tell you it does. Yeah, and like I said, track and report invisible wins. That's the super hard. And the hardest part is, where are those invisible wins? How can I measure that a ticket was not generated? How can I measure that a churn was not generated? It's super hard, but you can do it, and that's what statistical analysis is for. Not the cool AI, the boring one in university that we dreaded, but you can show correlations and you can work through it. Okay, and one of the biggest challenge also, it's endorsing your PMs that this is actual productive PM work. They will come back to you saying, I need to be prepping work for the team. I need to review these bugs. Well, the first thing is that we need to understand if we are making progress or not. And for that, you need quality time and deep analysis. Okay. Basically change the narrative from what we did to what we achieved. I think it's a narrative that in the community we're changing. So I highly encourage to push that. Yeah. So zero touch engagement. It's a mindset. So first, design around jobs. We cover that. Second, respect attention. Users don't want to be on your product most of the time, especially in B2C. So yeah, notification is a tool, but use it appropriately. And then finally, measure trust. You can measure clicks, but trust is what really gets you all the way there. And if you get it right, you will not get thank you notes from your users, but that's the point. So yeah, thank you. Also, I have a small YouTube channel where I interview product leaders.